You can't serve two masters. Barry Seal. Barry Seal is one of the youngest pilots in the United States who finds himself in the midst of a promising aviation career. His career as an aviator and trusted smuggler for a big drug cartel from Colombia inspired various movies, books, and documentaries. The most popular movie about Seal's interesting life story is American Made, which was released in 2017. Tom Cruise plays the character of Seal as an anti-hero protagonist. The movie, which features an action comedy theme, does not fully portray real events. However, it was the first movie to depict Seal's relationship with the CIA on an undercover mission as a Cuban cigar smuggler. This time we will talk about Barry Seal's story, but don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Seal was born with the name Adel Berriman Seal in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on July 16, 1939. His father was a candy salesman named Benjamin Curtis Seal. Mr. Seal was also active in a community called the Ku Klux Klan, while his mother was named Mary Lou Delcombre Seal. Since young, Seal has been interested in airplanes. At the age of 15 or 16, he made his first solo flight. His coach said that Seal was a naturally talented aviator. 1 year later, Seal received her pilot's certificate. In 1955, Seal joined a summer camp organized by the Civil Air Patrol, or CAP, in Baton Rouge. He joined a joint CAP training mission with the New Orleans unit led by David Ferry. During the training, he also met Lee Harvey Oswald. Ferry and Oswald are known as conspirators in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Seal worked for the Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA, as a contract pilot from 1956 to 1957. In 1958, Ferry gave Seal his first smuggling job. For each flight, Ferry paid about $2,000 to Seal. The flight smuggled guns into Cuba for Fidel Castro's revolutionary purposes against the Fulgencio Batista regime. At that time, some CIA intelligence supported the overthrow of Batista. Seal himself participated in airstrikes against the new government. 1 year later, Seal was assigned as a CIA pilot in Guatemala. He attended Cuban exile trainings in No Name Key, Florida, and on the northern shores of Lake Pontchartrain, Louisiana. He was also entrusted to run several companies based in Baton Rouge, such as Aerial Advertising Associates and Seal Sky Service. Seal's office is located in the International Trade Center managed by Clay Shaw. In the early 1960s, Seal was a member of Operation 40. According to Jerry Hemming, Seal flew to Cuba as part of a killer team to get rid of Fidel Castro. After the CIA's policies and support changed, in December 1962, Seal participated in the Fort Benning Jump School. Then he joined the SINT Special Forces Group. In May 1963, he enlisted into the Louisiana Army National Guard. He was assigned D Special Operations Detachment of the TH Special Forces Group Airborne. According to Deborah Seal, his wife, it is probable that Seal was also involved in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, because after his assassination, Seal was ordered to fly the getaway plane out of Dallas. In addition, he also became acquainted with the two famous conspirators of Kennedy's death, namely Lee Harvey Oswald and David Ferry. After graduating from the United States Army Airborne School in 1964, he joined the T Engineer Battalion based in St. Louis until 1966. Shortly after, he worked as a flight engineer for Trans World Airlines, or TWA, the largest airline in the United States, which was later acquired by American Airlines. During his time with TWA, he first worked as the youngest 707 captain and later became the youngest captain of a 747. Besides that, he also worked for Howard Hughes, an American movie producer, businessman, and engineer. He was one of the most successful aircraft manufacturers who established the Hughes Aircraft Company and created the fastest airplane in the world at the time, the Hughes H-1 Racer. From 1967 to 1968, Seal worked with Ted Shackley, who played a role in various secret CIA operations. Seal was with Air America in Laos and South Vietnam during search and destroy and special ops with Ted Shackley's boys. Ted recruited him for special operations regarding Cuba. According to some reports, her career at TWA ended because Seal was suspected of smuggling plastic explosives into Mexico. Eventually, the case was canceled, but he was still expelled due to the issue of lying on medical leave. On July 1, 1972, Seal was arrested in New Orleans, along with other colleagues including Richmond Harper, James Miller, Murray Kessler, and Marlon Hagler. They were accused of smuggling weapons and C4 explosives. At Shreveport Regional Airport, a DC-4 owned by James Boy, a known colleague of the CIA, was seized with almost 7 tons of plastic C4 explosives, 7,000 feet of explosive primer cord, and 2,600 electric blasting caps. One of Kessler's associates named Manny Gambino was kidnapped during the arrest. He was found dead in a garbage dump in New Jersey. The arrest and trap for Seal and his colleagues had been arranged by a U.S. Customs official, Cesaria Diosdado. His trial occurred 2 years later in June 1974. Prosecutors charged Seal and his colleagues with an automatic firearm that had no connection to the defendant's allegations. In the end, the trial was canceled again. Seal and his colleagues were released. Seal was pulled by the CIA to work with the Drug Enforcement Administration, or DEA, as an agent for the Special Operations Group. Seal was often seen traveling back and forth from the United States to Latin America to conduct secret DEA missions, led by Lucien Cornien. According to Seal's wife, Deborah, Seal started smuggling drugs in 1975. In 1976, he was unemployed and became a cocaine and marijuana smuggler. At first, he focused on smuggling marijuana because the pay was much higher than cocaine. On December 10, 1979, Barry Seal was again arrested with Steve Planta, who was his co-pilot in Honduras after leaving Ecuador. They smuggled 40 kilos of cocaine worth $25 million. Both were accused of possessing 17 kilos of cocaine on personal use. With these charges, they were jailed for 9 months. During his time in prison, Seal met William Roger Reeves. He was also an aviator who was arrested for cocaine smuggling from the Ochoa family of Medellin. In 1981, when Reeves was the business manager of the Ochoa family in New Orleans, Seal was introduced to Felix Bates. As a result, Seal had a close relationship with the Medellin Cartel. The Medellin Cartel was founded in 1980 by Jorge Ochoa. He convinced other drug cartel families to contribute $7 million. The money was used to form 2,000 troops aimed at destroying the Marx M19 revolutionary group that was causing problems for the drug barons in Colombia. Next, Jorge Ochoa collaborated with Pablo Escobar, and that's how the Medellin Cartel was formed. The Medellin Cartel became the largest cartel employing local people and improving economic life, even though they had to be involved in illegal activities. With the sale of cocaine, they can make $60 million per month. The leaders are registered as the richest people in the world. It is not surprising to find that 80% of cocaine in the United States is supplied by Colombian cartels. So powerful was the cartel that the CIA believed the Medellin Cartel could be used to help defeat the communists. The trick is to ask for a donation of $10 million from the Medellin Cartel. In 1982, Seal began working smuggling drugs into the United States for the Medellin Cartel. He moved his former base of operations from Louisiana to Mena, a remote mountain airport in western Arkansas. One flight of cocaine smuggling earned him $1.5 million. In addition, Seal also worked directly with Sonia Atala, a drug baron protected by the CIA. His aircraft were seen flying around the mountains of Colombia and Venezuela. Seal also supplied Contra camps in Costa Rica and Honduras. During his time as a smuggler, he obtained 2 airplanes, a Beechcraft King Air 200 and a Lear jet. The planes were purchased by a company located in Phoenix. The company owns Southern Air and is owned by the CIA and some of the people involved, such as George H.W. Bush, William Casey, Felix Thurst, and others. Rodriguez and Richard Secord. The Lear jet was owned by Reggie and Bill Whittington. However, in 1981, they were arrested and accused of importing 400,000 pounds of marijuana in Florida and evading $73 million in taxes. So, the jet is now listed as belonging to Intercontinental Holding, a CIA-owned company in the Cayman Islands founded by Paul Helliwell. Ever since Seal moved his operations to Arkansas, the DEA in Florida had been suspicious of him. In 1983, Seal was arrested and tried on various other drug smuggling and conspiracy charges. In March 1984, he was charged with smuggling Quaaludes and money laundering in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Seal, who was threatened with a 10-year prison sentence, offered himself as an informant to the DEA. Seal appeared at a secret session of Bush's task force on drugs in Washington. He testified about the collaborative relationship between the Medellin Cartel and the Sandinistas. The Medellin Cartel provided drug sales profits in exchange for the use of the airstrip in Managua as a drug transshipment point. President Ronald Reagan, who supported the Contras, was delighted to hear this information. He wanted to attack the right-wing rebels in Nicaragua. In addition, Seal also gave information about the Iran-Contra scandal that caught federal officials, including Richard Ben Veniste. He was chief counsel to the Senate Whitewater Committee and served as the Watergate prosecutor who secured the secret tapes of Richard Nixon's White House. But the DEA was not interested in the information. Not only that, Seal also went undercover to get other important information. The aircraft he was riding on was then installed with sophisticated monitoring equipment, so that he managed to get photos of Cuban officials and Nicaraguan soldiers, as well as photos of Pablo Escobar, whose figure was difficult to find and arrest by the authorities. Originally, Seal's sentence was reduced to 5 years probation for helping to fight drugs. However, a judge in Louisiana felt the sentence was unfair, especially after years of Seal carrying out his illegal activities in the Bayou State. Before Judge Frank Polozola in Baton Rouge, Seal was sentenced to 6 months of house arrest on December 20th, 1985. He must be at the Salvation Army House on Baton Rouge's Airline Highway Strip from 6 in the evening to 6 in the morning. He was not allowed to carry a weapon or employ an armed guard. His friend René Martin said that Seal never feared being killed by the Medellin Cartel. He certainly never caught senior members of the cartel. Instead, he was worried about his contacts with the U.S. government. This statement was confirmed by Seal's lawyer, Louis Unglesby, on February 19, 1986, while Seal was parking his white Cadillac at 6 p.m. at his prison home. A man with a machine gun came up to him. Seal got 2 shots in the head and body. The eyewitness was Russ Eakin, one of Seal's friends who was at the Belmont Hotel coffee shop. A few days later, the police soon arrested the 7 men responsible for Seal's death. The 6 men included Jose Renteria, John Cardona, Luis Quintero Cruz, Miguel Velez, Bernardo Vasquez, and Eliberto Sanchez. One other person had escaped back to Colombia, namely Rafa Cardona, and he was murdered in the same year. John Cardona and Eliberto Sanchez were deported. Jose Coutin, who provided Seal's murder weapon, was also deported. He was never prosecuted for Seal's murder and testified in court against Luis Quintero Cruz, Miguel Velez, and Bernardo Vasquez. Finally, all 3 men were sentenced to life in prison for Seal's murder. In fact, the 7 men were messengers of Jorge Ochoa to stop Seal from testifying during his trial.